Before we get going, new month, so we have some new announcements. We have our Healthy Eats program going on right now, so join in on that if you are interested in learning some healthy tips and how to make eating more enjoyable and achievable. There's some great tips on activities for that. We also have our Nutrition Simplified webinar series. It is National Nutrition Month, so all of these are going to be pretty nutrition heavy. So we have our educational webinar series every Friday at 10 a.m. Central Time. There's various different topics that we'll be going over, so join in on those or watch the recording. And then we also have our cooking demo this month. It's going to be a green chicken enchilada skillet. I have not made this exact recipe, but I've made something similar and it is really good. So you should check it out. And as always, the recordings will be posted for each of those as well. All right, just a mat. We're going to be on the floor on your back. So make your way into that position. We are going to start out with some knee rocks. So your feet are going to be flat on the floor, knees bent. Your hands can be on your stomach or out to the side, whichever is comfortable for you. We're going to drop our knees down towards the right side and then come back to center and drop them down towards the left. So nice and slow. As we start to move, focus on your breathing in through your nose for about 3 to 5 seconds, and then out through your mouth 3 to 5 seconds. So nice and slow breathing. If you can get your knee all the way down to the ground, that's great. If not, that's okay. You can also widen your feet. That might help you get a little bit more range of motion in your hips and lower back. Got a few more here on each side. Continuing to focus on that slow, deep breathing. Using the exhale to help soften your body. Good. Last one on each side. And we're going to go into a figure 4. So I'm going to have you take your right ankle and cross it over your left knee. And you can gently press your knee away from you. You should feel this in your hips and glutes. If it is not deep enough of a stretch, you can lift your left leg off the ground and reach through, grabbing the back of your leg and pull your legs towards your chest for a deeper stretch. Don't forget to keep focusing on the slow, deep breathing. Easy to kind of hold tension, especially if the stretch feels a little bit uncomfortable, but the breathing will help you relax a little bit and allow your body into the stretch instead of resisting it. Good, about 10 more seconds here. All right, if your leg's not on the ground, bring your left leg back down to the floor. And before we switch to the other side, we're going to do a spinal twist in this figure 4 position. So figure 4 position with your right ankle crossed over your left knee. And now you're going to rotate your legs down towards the left side of your mat. So bringing your right foot down towards the floor on the left side of your mat. You can open your arms up like a T. And we're going to hold this twist position. If you can't quite make it all the way down to the floor, that's okay. Go to a position where you can feel that twist in your lower back. Try to keep your shoulders on the floor, arms out like a T. You can look to the right or to the left, or you can just have your head up towards the ceiling. Good. A few more deep breaths in this position. All right, and slowly come back up into the neutral position. You can drop your right leg down towards the floor. Now we're going to go into the figure 4 on the opposite side. So left ankle over right knee. And you can either stay here or lift your right leg up. Grab through, pulling your leg up towards your chest. One side might feel a little bit tighter or looser than the other, so you don't have to do the exact same stretch. If this side your foot wants to stay on the floor, that's fine. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth, nice and slow, about 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. Really slow down and control your breathing. Got about 10 more seconds and we will go into that spinal twist. All right, if you're not ready, slowly bring your right foot back down towards the floor, arms out like a T, both straight out to the side, and then rotate your hips towards the right side now. Again, if it looks a little bit different on each side, if you can't quite make it down to the floor, that's okay. I can already feel my left hip is a lot tighter than my right, so this feels a little bit harder on this side. We're at about halfway, couple more breaths in this position. All right, and slowly bring it up into that neutral position. You can bring your legs down. And one more on our back before we move into a new position. We're going to do spinal waves. So we're going to slowly lift up into a glute bridge, one vertebrae at a time, and then slowly lift back down. So your hands can be out to your side, feet both flat on the floor. And you're going to tuck your tailbone. You go bringing like your belt buckle up towards your chin. And then from here, slowly lift up one vertebrae at a time until your hips are in the air. The only thing that's on the floor is your shoulder blades. And then keeping your pelvis tucked, slowly lower all the way back down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. And then you can relax at the bottom and we'll do it again. So tuck your pelvis, belt buckle up towards your chin, slowly lifting. Hold at the top for a second or two. Keeping the pelvis tucked, really important as you go all the way back down. It's going to help you segment your spine, go one vertebrae at a time. The last thing that should touch is your tailbone. And you can relax at the bottom. We're going to do this about 5 times. Nice and slow and controlled all the way up. And that same pace all the way back down. All right, and we'll do 2 more. Lifting up. Continuing to breathe as we do this. Once we start to move, it's a little bit harder to remember to breathe, but just continue to breathe, relaxing your body. Good. Last one. All right. You can relax at the bottom. We're going to roll over into a tabletop position on your hands and knees. And we're going to go into a cat-cow to start. So before we start, make sure that your shoulders are right above your elbows and wrists. Your joints should all be lined up. You shouldn't be sitting too far back or too far forward. It's going to help your joints feel a little bit better. Spread your fingers wide. As we're set up in this position, you're going to arch your spine, bringing your belly down towards the floor, gaze forward, kind of squeeze your shoulder blades together, open up your chest. Big inhale, and then as you exhale, you're going to round your spine, pressing your back up towards the ceiling, dropping your head in between your shoulders. And moving with your own breath, you're going to inhale and arch, and then exhale and round your spine. If you need a little bit more as we're doing this stretch, you can think about segmenting your spine like we just did in those spinal waves. So as you start each position, you're going to start with your pelvis and then slowly all the way up your back until you finish with your cervical spine or your neck. So think about initiating the movement and kind of making that wave up your spine like we were just doing. It feels a little bit awkward at first, but you'll get used to it and your body will get used to moving in that range of motion. But a few more of each. Again, just moving with your own breath, arching your spine as you inhale, and then exhale and around your spine. All right, and two more of each. Hopefully, you notice the more reps you do, you're able to get a little bit more movement. All right, last one of each. All right, we're gonna do some wrist stretches before we move on, just because being in this position can be a lot on your wrists. So you can sit back onto your heels a little bit, and then you're going to rotate your hands so your fingers are facing towards you, palms on your mat. And then you're going to slowly lower your weight backwards until you feel a stretch into your wrists and forearms. You don't usually have to go very far to feel the stretch. If you need more, just lean back, sit farther back onto your heels. Good. About 15 more seconds. If you can tolerate it, you can sit back a little bit farther and deepen the stretch for the last 10 seconds. If not, just stay where you are. All right, gently come up out of that, go back into that tabletop position, and we're going to do an active thread the needle. So you're going to take your left arm, rotate open, bringing your left arm up towards the ceiling, and then exhale and thread through, sitting down onto your shoulder. And we're going to do it active, so we're going to be moving. And then the last one, we're going to hold it. So open up and then thread through. Going at your own pace, but try to keep moving. Don't hold it for too long. We're going to hold that twist at the end for a bit longer. I'm going to have you do about 8 to 10 reps, depending on how fast you're going. Rotating open as much as you can, reaching up for the ceiling, and then rotate through that shoulder on the other side, that open hole on the other side. Got at least 3 more. All right, on this next one, we're going to hold it for about 30 seconds. So open up, and then as you thread through, sitting down onto your shoulder, rotating as much as you can. We're going to hold it for 30 seconds. So just breathe through it. Try to focus on that deep breathing that we did at the beginning, in through the nose, out through the mouth, about 5 seconds of each. Good, last few seconds. All right, you can gently unwind, and we'll switch to the other side. So rotating open to the right now, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling, and thread through that left shoulder. And we're going to do about 8 to 10 at your own breath. So go at your own pace. Don't forget to breathe as we're doing this. It says we start to move. It's more complicated to focus on the deep breathing. Last few here. Good. Two more. And on this next one, we will hold for about 30 seconds. So thread it through, sitting down onto your shoulder. And we're going to hold it here. At about halfway. All right, we can slowly unwind out of that. And again, we're going to do another wrist stretch before we move on. So this time you can sit back on your heels, have your hands straight out in front of you, fingers down, palm facing towards you, and you're going to gently pull your hand towards you. She feels now on the outside of your wrist and up into your forearm. About 30 seconds here. It feels really tight. You can stop that and do a couple of wrist circles as well. All right, let's switch to the other side. So hand out, palm facing towards you, fingers down, and gently pull it in. All right. All right, back up into that tabletop position. I'll show you from the front this time. So hands and knees, make sure that your joints are all lined up on that front side as well as your hips and knees. And then we're going to kick our left leg out to the side. So left leg straight out to the side. And then from here, you're going to sit back onto your heels and then shift your weight forward again. So moving with this one back onto the heels and then shifting the weight forward. You should feel a stretch into your inner thigh. You can keep your left foot once extended out to the side, flat on the ground, or if it feels better for you, you can lift your toes up. And see how both feel, keeping your foot on the ground or lifting the toes up. Good, last two, and then we will hold it. All right, on your next one, you're gonna hold in that back stretch position. All right, gently come up out of that, and we'll switch to the other side. Switching it over to the right leg out to the side, sit back onto your heels, and then shift the weight forward. Good, two more. And on this last one, let's hold it for about 15 seconds. All right, you can slowly come out of that, sit back on your heels, and then we'll do big wrist circles, both directions. You can have your hands kind of out fanned or in fists. Big circles with your wrists, getting some movement in there. And switch, we're going the opposite direction. All right, you can shake out your hands a little bit if you need to, but thank you guys so much for joining me today. And hopefully I will see you next time. Thank you, Isla.